The passage in Revelation 13:3 tells us, "I saw one of its heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and its mortal wound was healed. And the whole earth marveled behind the beast." This enigmatic and profound verse seems to resonate in current times, where humanity is facing global-scale conflicts and constant dangers. War, tensions in the Middle East, the pandemic, and threats of nuclear weapons have turned our world into a place of uncertainty and fear. In the midst of this chaos, many people are desperately looking for a figure of peace, someone who can offer them security and hope. Biblical prophecies warn of a time of crisis in which a charismatic figure will emerge, promising peace and stability. This character, known as the Antichrist, will be a leader who will captivate the crowds, offering promises of security that will actually be just illusions. Meanwhile, the symbolism in our culture and recent events seem to invite reflection. In 2024, during the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in France, a figure on a white horse appeared on the scene, generating various interpretations. Some saw it as an artistic touch, but others considered this image a possible allusion to something deeper, evoking the ancient symbolism of power and conquest that the white horse has represented throughout history. In times past, the white horse was the symbol of invincible leaders. Roman generals returned triumphantly to Rome on white horses, and Napoleon Bonaparte himself was portrayed in this image during his campaigns as a sign of his dominance and the strength of his leadership. The presence of this symbol in current events seems to evoke the arrival of a leader who will impose a new order on a world in need of stability. In this context, many people today long for someone who can bring peace amidst global turmoil. But there is also a danger in accepting any figure without examining his true intentions. The Bible describes the Antichrist as someone who will arrive riding a white horse, but with a bow without arrows, a peculiar symbol that has led to many interpretations. Some consider the bow without arrows to represent a silent and manipulative power, an authority that will not resort to open violence, but to influence and persuasion to gain control. This detail has piqued the curiosity of those who search ancient texts for warnings and clues. On the U.S. $1 bill, a symbol of global power, an eagle holds a group of arrows in its talons. Could this image be a symbolic reference to the hidden power of someone who has not yet shown all his weapons, but is waiting for the right moment to use them? Some see in this image a hint that the Antichrist will emerge from a place of financial and military power, like the United States, a country with the dollar as the ultimate symbol of economic influence. The presence of arrows on the bill could be a reference to a latent power, to a conquest that could manifest itself in an unexpected way. This theory suggests that the influence of the Antichrist will not be based on a visible dominion, but on a hidden authority that could go unnoticed, as indicated by the biblical passage. It is not only in ancient symbolism that these possible hidden messages are found. In modern popular culture, some events presented as comedy or fiction also seem to have a symbolic charge. The Simpsons series has been famous for making predictions that, although they seemed absurd at the time, have come true over time. In 1997, The Simpsons showed smart watches, which at the time seemed like science fiction. Today, these devices are an everyday reality. In 2000, they presented Donald Trump as President of the United States, an idea that at the time seemed impossible. However, 16 years later, Trump assumed the presidency, changing the political landscape in surprising ways. The predictions in this series go beyond coincidences, and some believe they could be warnings of what is to come. In another episode, The Simpsons predicted a nuclear crisis at a Japanese plant in 2011, anticipating the Fukushima disaster that shocked the entire world. In addition, in 1993, they presented an episode about a rapidly spreading Asian flu, a plot that would later seem to predict the global pandemic of 2020. These events reflect a series of disturbing coincidences that could be interpreted as warning signs. In the current context, with Donald Trump back on the political scene, and a possible promise of peace in the Middle East, some wonder if we are witnessing the fulfillment of the prophecies about the Antichrist. Trump has assured that he will intervene to stop the conflict between Iran and Israel, pledging to bring stability at a time of extreme tension. However, the Bible warns that the Antichrist will emerge precisely in this way, as a peacemaker, a leader who seems to bring solutions in the midst of despair, but whose peace is an illusion. The figure of the Antichrist will offer a deceptive stability, a promise of peace that will not last. It is in this context that the Scriptures suggest the figure of a powerful, charismatic leader who will emerge from a place of power. Some interpretations of biblical symbolism and current events indicate that this figure may already be on the global stage. As the situation in the Middle East continues to deteriorate and tensions between nations increase, the need for a leader who will bring peace becomes stronger, and the temptation to accept anyone who offers a solution without question grows. At a recent event, Donald Trump was honored by Israel with a menorah, a symbol of faith, in a special ceremony. In this ceremony, he was given the title of Prince of Peace, a title that the Scriptures reserve exclusively for the Messiah. According to the book of Isaiah, the title of Prince of Peace belongs to Jesus Christ, and to see this title given to a human leader has been considered by many to be blasphemy. For some, this gesture symbolizes an attempt to elevate Trump to a sacred level, in an act that seems to defy biblical teachings. The menorah, a sacred symbol in Judaism, represents the light of God, and the title of Prince of Peace was engraved on this present and given to Trump, creating a disturbing image for those who see in it a usurpation of Christ's divinity. The figure of the Antichrist, according to the Scriptures, will offer a peace that will be illusory, a stability intended to deceive and mislead the multitudes. With Trump promising peace in a scenario of global chaos, some observe these events with caution, wondering if we are really seeing the fulfillment of these prophecies. The warnings are in the Bible. I saw one of its heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and its mortal wound was healed, and the whole earth marveled behind the beast. At a recent rally, Trump was wounded in ways that could have been fatal, but he quickly recovered, rising before the crowd with an expression of firmness. This incident has been interpreted by some as an omen, an echo of the biblical passage describing a figure with a deadly wound who miraculously heals and astonishes everyone. Today, scriptural symbolism and current events seem to converge in ways that invite us to reflect. Perhaps it is no coincidence that these signs are appearing in times of great uncertainty. Prophecy warns of a time when the world will desperately seek security and peace, and in the midst of that search, A leader will emerge who promises to meet those needs. The questions these signs leave us with are profound. Are we prepared for what is to come? Will this leader be the expected figure, or a threat hidden under the guise of peace?